Hello y'all, this is SpadeHeart with another art video. Today I'm going to be talking about the development and inspirations for my current Sona, SpadeHeart, which is the main of many universe characters of all of my ideas. It's a self-insert, not gonna lie. Everybody has one. Everybody has a power fantasy. It's normal, okay? It's normal! I'm gonna start by saying I made this when I was in community college. I was in photography class, and I was sitting down drawing myself in whatever I was dressed in at the time. And I was in desperate need of some edge. I was like, at this point in my life, I was dealing with a lot of heavy stuff, and I wanted to imagine a version of myself that could like take all this on and deal with it all. And I still love superheroes. I still love, like, I was interested in the idea of alter egos. You know, like Batman has Bruce Wayne, Superman, Clark Kent. I also started thinking, like, beyond that, like if there was a character who had different sides of themselves, not like a split personality. Just want to say that right now. This is not MPD or none of that. Just the idea of like a person switching between aliases to do things, and you know they're in control of both. So I came up with SpadeHeart, the name, and then yeah, I drew myself in the jacket I still have at the. It's like a really nice big thick jacket. I drew myself in these awesome cargo like skater shorts. I think they're like raver skater goth shorts. I had a wallet chain. I don't know if I drew that in this first image. And I had a lightning shirt. I had to Google. I managed to find the exact shirt I was wearing. It's like this by this brand called Apartment 9. They had a really awesome graphic tees. I'm not wearing so much of those anymore. And then Jester shoes. I just thought Jester shoes were cool. And just the vibe I was trying to get from drawing this, like the inspirations rather. I was imagining like Roxas, the dual wielding Roxas and like the cloak, and then something like Static Shock or Spawn, like those three things together. Like I injected those things into this first design I made. Real quick with the face, the idea is like my face and head were covered in like thunderstorm clouds. I was really interested in. I really like thunderstorm clouds, and I really like the idea of like conquering a fear because I. I was terrified of thunderstorms as a kid, so I thought that by embracing that and becoming what I feared the most, I don't know, it was just like symbolic to me. Like, oh, this is what I consider to be edgy because I'm becoming what I feared the most, and I'm using it to my advantage or whatever. It's fucking dumb. Yes, I used to live in Georgia in the South, and like I think around summer and winter, like they had the craziest fucking thunderstorms there. I'm talking like you can see lightning out your window. You didn't even have to look very far. Your power would go out all the time. The trees fall down, like that kind of level of thunderstorms I was experiencing. But yeah, as an adult in 2011, I was like at least 18 or 19. And, you know, things used to stress me out a lot. I was, like I said, I was going through a lot with family at the time. And I think I had a job, and the job stressed me out. I was working at Pizza Hut, like, and I would just visibly get stressed out. And I created, like, half of this Sona is like me, is that whole expression of that stress. Because, like, the idea I had was that when I would get agitated, like the hair on the storm cloud hair on my head would like expand and like spaz out, and the lightning would come out. Also, these blades they get bigger the more stress I would get. Kind of like the Hulk, like they're like Hulk blades if I want to say. So imagine his character fighting, like, and he's losing, like the blades would get bigger and bigger. And they would become more of a threat to everyone and myself. It's just as a representation of that, like a visualization of that kind of energy. And I will say with the name, it was kind of ruined for me later on in life. Like post 2020, I was in a server and someone pointed out like, hey, isn't Spade like a slur for black people? And I was like, god damn it, I'm not. Well, I've had this nickname, or not even nickname, but I have this Sona name for like so long. I'm not gonna let that ruin this, because like this is like more about the suits. I just think the naming scheme of the suits is cool, like Spade, Heart, Diamond, Club. And then the name came from like the phrase "the heart is black as the ace of spades," so it was like Spade and then Heart, and then I don't think it makes sense anymore. But I've been able to make the name make more sense in my head, giving the theming around it and what they represent about like my personality. So it's not a heart is black as the ace of spades anymore, because that's stupid. And it kind of, that aspect kind of messes with like the whole thing I had going on too, because like SpadeHeart is the is like one of the many Horcrux characters that I've come up with in all these universes. Like there's other Spades pretty much, and that's just like the title rather. Spade is just kind of like the modifier, and then Heart is more like the half of the soul that I'm portraying here in this Sona right here. There's another one which you don't get to know. There's another one called something else, and then the one that I'm using most of the time in my like the art world is SpadeHeart. Like that's the name that I'm going with. So for this video, I've cobbled together some like sketch pages, like really old sketch pages from sketchbooks that I just like either doodled this Sona saying quotes or just doing. I used to have like examples of like some other things in action. And where this mostly all came from is that, I became interested in the idea of alter egos. I took one class of intro to psychology, and they got to the iceberg part of the personality or the brain or whatever. My understanding of it is not perfect, and I don't care to delve more into it, so I'm not claiming to know anything about this. I just know the surface level terms, and that's about it. I learned about the id and the superego, and I was looking at those like, oh, they could be two halves of like the same person. So that's where the idea is for like all the characters I've made for alters, is that like every character I make has like a an id side and a superego side. SpadeHeart is my superego side. And the idea was that like this version of myself was going around just kind of like projecting my morality onto things, and this is how I solve situations and engage in conversations or whatever. It was too much. I think I was being way too critical at this time of my life about basically everything. I was being proud to be cynical. Like that stuff is, that part of me is dead. I've evolved since then. SpadeHeart has evolved since then. That's basically the world and the world building side of things, is like what all these characters represent about their personality. What all these alters represent about each character's personality. You can look at it like that. Everybody has their two halves of the same like coin. So I'm just right now going through some of these sketch pages I've gotten together. So this first page right here is, I drew myself saying, I've never seen anyone be so wrong about anything like you were just now. Just like have like really long edgy quotes. And I did used to draw myself with just the eyes and the messy like storm head, and just the jacket would just cover mostly everything. And I don't know why I didn't like drawing the body so much, so I just covered up with the jacket. And like this, you could barely even tell this is a person right now if I were to be critical of my old art. But you know, it's just a sketch. Let's see what else here. Oh, and this next page, I came up with the idea of like, oh, this would be a half human. You would have half ethereal body. Like there would be flesh, and then there would be storm cloud body going up like towards the center. So like you would see the arms and legs, but like towards the center of the body, it would be like mostly ethereal. I don't know how far I went with that, but I don't do that really anymore. And yeah, this page right here has a character called Rita. Her name isn't on here, but I came up with this person who was like, there were two different aspects of being an artist. Like there's a confident and messy version of them, which is Blot Witch, and then there's the more reserved, kind of precise version of her, which is like Fine Line. In Fine Line, there's more of a perfectionist angle to her, which gets in the way of her own creativity, which is like the aspect of this whole character. But then there's Blot Witch, who when Rita is being Blot Witch, she doesn't really follow any rules. So like all of her stuff is kind of chaotic, and that can get in the way of like making art too, I think sometimes. But that's the general idea of like myself and all the other characters, is that the altars represent like aspects of their personality. Okay, this page right here, I don't know what these robots are. I came up with the idea of like satanic robots, whatever. These little doodles, I tried to do like stick figure action kind of storyboardy little doodles. This one at the top here, that's like an example of the blades getting bigger. At some point when they become too big, they detach from the handles, and then they become like disjointed weapons that are like psychically controlled, I guess. And then there's a little doodle right there of like making a big thunderstorm. And then at the bottom, it's like I guess that's a kind of attack where I imagine that I could like swing hover the blades around me in like a circular pattern, like a defensive thing. Oh, this drawing right here. Let's see if I have the full one. Okay, yeah, I drew myself here. I think I drew this when I was working at pizza, and yeah, this is one of those. That was one of those times in my life where I would get the most stressed. And I actually had this conversation with a coworker at the time, and like I was stressed, and they kept asking me like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And like I had to insist that yes, I'm fine. But the more I insisted, like the more it started to come out that like I'm not fine. I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Yes, I'm fine. You know. And it just kept pressing, and then it came out. Like I said it exactly how I looked right there. But like I incorporated that into the SpadeHeart character. Oh, I like this page. There is some doodles of trance, like some expressions. Like that's a really old design of trance. There's a Felix the cat there. That's one of the Horcruxes. That's the 9. That's the 9 of spades. Trance is the 5 of spades. My self-insert SpadeHeart is the 2 of spades, because there's 2. There's the id altar and the super ego altar, so there's 2. That's why it's a 2 of spades. There's a Rotom there. There's Blot Witch painting stuff with her paint can. And then yeah, this is a doodle example of the spade blades growing bigger. I guess you could, I don't know if I said this in this recording already, that you can imagine it like it's the Hulk, where as I'm fighting, as I getting like agitated, the blades would get bigger. It sounds simple in my head, but I feel like I have to explain it every time. But yeah, that's just the basic of this page right here. Oh, and this, yeah, again, I was explaining it more. I don't think I have the actual Flash animation anymore, but these were storyboard doodles for this animation I did in Flash back when I was like trying to learn that. Yeah, this is an example of like combat with these blades. They would get big, they would detach from the handle, like I said, and then they could be like big swinging, big panel wall things. And I was gonna have myself jump, do a flip, and then come down with like the big blade. If I have it still, I'll put it in this video, but if not, I probably don't, so don't expect that. Oh, and this is an ability page. I started doing these for everyone just to like get their concepts out of my brain. So yeah, These are all like the abilities my character would do. This is a retired idea. Like I think I said in the beginning of this video, my character would summon like monsters called correctors, and they would just like fix things. I don't care about that anymore, so I stopped doing that. Yeah, and the blades would get bigger. I would. It's like a dual wielding kind of character. Yeah, if you imagine like Roxas fighting, it would look like that with the two keyblades. And then I could summon thunderclouds and then just shoot lightning from them or from my head. I think I committed to the idea of everything coming out of my head, my character's head, like the storm, the lightning, the whatever, because that's like where the source of any stress would be. It would come from the brain. So, yeah, I imagine the character blocking like that by holding them up, those two together. Like you could block bullets or other physical attacks or energy beams or whatever. It made sense in my mind. I really like this down here. these three things, like these little the swing motion, the X motion, the cross slash, and then coming down with both of them like bam, boom. Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, and this is like the first page I started doing for everybody. Oh, what is that concept? Blade size increases with heart rate tension. Yeah, I started incorporating things like heart rate, stress level, stuff like that to show like how powerful I'm getting. It's kind of like, or it's kind of like the Cario in Smash 4 or in Smash Bros in general. Like Cario gets more stronger when he's at high percent. So you can imagine it like that too. Storm intensity depends on emotion. So, okay. And then there's lightning. Oh yeah, and another thing I liked that whenever I spoke, it would, or screamed or did shouts, it would be in the form of thunder. And then right before, there's like a relationship with how SpadeHeart attacks, is that he could shoot lightning, and then following that he could shout thunder blast or whatever. Oh, and then the eyes are always glowing because it's always like bright light. Righteous vision sees through illusions, eliminates intense darkness and advanced darkness with SpongeBob there. Oh, and I like the idea of like, just if I was gonna draw the blades, they would like little portals would form and I would reach through and pull them out. And that concept is shown in like the first comic pages I was doing with this character. Blades function as walls. Oh yeah, you could use them, you could pull them up to be like barriers from the ground. What else? Down there in the corner, form adapts depending on enemy and situations. I love I incorporated the idea of like Mega Man powers based on the characters my character would fight throughout alters. So my character has many forms. I have many forms. Use them well. So these are all based on like the elements I've came up with in alters. It's not like fire, ice, water, grass, etc. No, these are like very unconventional, untraditional elements. There's like machine. There's the digital. There's time travel. There's hell, nightmare, ghost, death, clown. Yeah, those are the elements I came up with in for this setting. Oh, here we go. Speaking of, yeah, these are all the old drawings that I made. Like this is back when I was still using Illustrator to at least do the outline, because I was drawing in the sketchbook and I scanned the outlines, and then I would color them in. No, I would do the live trace of the drawings in Illustrator, and then I would color it in Photoshop. And you can tell I'm using like basic default textures for almost everything. It doesn't look good. I didn't figure out how to like make images high resolution, so I was drawing it like 100 or less. I was drawing in inches instead of pixels, or I was coloring. I only did coloring in Photoshop. Yeah, everything just has like the default sponge texture. I figured out how to do most of this now without textures. But yeah, these are all old form drawings. If I ever, I've only redrawn the clown form. I'm still attached to the time traveler form and the virus form. Those are cool to me still. And down here are like the names of attacks as lightning, as thunder, and then like the ult is called breakthrough. And I think that's a psychological therapy term. Like, oh, you're making a major breakthrough. That was the idea. I don't really think about that stuff anymore. And those are my old DeviantArt handles and my old Tumblr handles. I don't use it. How is it even possible anymore? And I deleted Spades and Storms. I've now used it for Blue Sky. And that's it. Actually, no, I don't use that anymore. I use other side arts because it's way more in line with like everything I'm doing, and not just alters. I mean, that was the title of like the universe, Alters Tales of Conflict. I don't know why I've given it Tales of Conflict. I'm not attached to that name anymore, or that subtitle rather. But yeah, all these forms would be received through beating somebody within the story. Oh, and this is what all the weapons look like. I love Keyblades, as obviously you can tell from all the things that I like. All these blades have different forms and abilities. All the names change from like as lightning, as thunder to something else, like spawn, banishment, spotlight, slideshow. I would drew these differently now. A lot of these just have like basic shapes, and they use like some brush outline from Illustrator. I wouldn't do it like these now. Okay, now we're getting to the pages. All right, now we're getting to the really old pages that I did for Alters, like chapter 1. Oh, look at that. I wrote I wrote this is page 12 of chapter 1. I'm not gonna go to the whole thing. So this is page 12. This is an example of SpadeHeart fighting somebody. That dude in the top left, like he's one of the enemy characters I came up with. His thing is that he's... Oh, I had to figure out a name for this. I'll do a deep dive on his character too. But basically, he controls trash telekinetically. And my character is fighting him because he finds out that he's one of the people who was responsible for his death. And now that he's returned, he's trying to get revenge on everybody. It's an example of... I don't know if I wanted to give myself super speed, but he is running with like these people on like motor vehicles. I don't think I would do this now. So he's attacking this guy on his... It's like his fucking... Mad Max moped thing. He turns into a storm cloud and jumps at him, and there's a big explosion. It's like it's supposed to be thunder. Shut up. I would do this all differently now. And then these other two people are in a car, and then my character is like dodging rocket launcher blast. It airs, you know, it comes from a humble place, but I still look at it as kind of cringe. It's just because it's old art, and the structure of this chapter is like not the best. But you know what they say? They're always... I think I made this like really fast with the notion of... I think I heard just don't worry about it being good, just put it out, make it good later. I was thinking that was my entire mindset with this whole thing. I was trying to just do this as fast as possible. I learned a lot doing this, like setting up comic pages and composition. Like, this looks not that good now. I got into good habit of like making text bubbles and thought bubbles and like narration squares, stuff like that. I got a good practice doing that, just doing this, and like throwing automatopoeias down. I was already like super savvy in using text in Photoshop and Illustrator, so I was good at like picking fonts, making them pop, put outlines on them, glows, whatever. I was already good at that, I felt. Yeah, but this page is an example of my character shooting lightning down using a thunder cloud. coming from up top. And, all right, ooh, this page is so edgy. And then the main guy of this chapter, he's like, oh god, he's catching up to me. Yeah, so this character, his name is Mickey. His id alter name is Junkmeister. He doesn't remember this, but he's the one who was part of the group that killed my character, and that's why he's come back to take revenge on everybody. Okay, so this is when he starts to use his junk powers, his junkomancy powers. You know, my character's being really edgy here. I'm taking you all about one by one. Yeah, okay. Oh, alright, so he makes his big old junk heap. My character, I think I tried to be a little bit funny here. He makes this big junk mound coming from the ground. And then my character's like doing flips and shit. And then he gets killed. He gets crushed by the big comfy couch. Rips it in half, jumps out. Oh yeah, this is when the rage starts building. He just jumps at him. Oh, this page is so edgy. It's so black. You can't even see anything. He jumps at him, shocks him. And he's like, oh man, what did I ever do to you? I'm like, you killed me. What's this narration here? This is a new feeling. It's so intense. I'm so mad I can't think about anything else. I'm fixated on something. All I can think of now is destruction. Oh, that's right. So the id version of me is the creative one. So the superego me, SpadeHeart, is a destructive one. There's like creation and destruction. So there's that relationship with those two alters. And I think in this page I was trying to get at that this is like a avatar state where like he's acting but he's not like fully in control. Whoa, I was really not knowing how to use these effects here. Yeah, so the eyes are like glowing and really intensely. Everything is going super white. And then it's coming down. It's like, oh, what was I doing? And this is like a page from like the origin story. It's not good. Oh my god, it's so black. You can't see a goddamn thing. Yeah, my character leaves community college. He's going home, and then he gets stalked by like this group. I don't know why, but I tried to turn me actually getting mugged into an origin story. Yeah, so when I was coming home from work in around that time, 2011 or 2012, I did get mugged once. It was kind of intense. I could have died. I nearly died. I was in a chokehold. All of my breath left my body, and then the other person who was mugging me was like, "Get off him! You're gonna choke him, and then we're just gonna rob him." Like, yeah, it was pretty close. But anyway, after all that, I for some reason thought that'd be the inspiration for this origin story. But this is a version of me where my character does die, and he goes through that afterlife. Not quite heaven or hell, just some weird place in between. He's going up these like glowing stairways, and he meets a character. He meets my version of death, who is this god who is observing the mortal world, and he's trying to keep track of like. He's trying to figure out like why there's so many pointless deaths, as a result of like either war, just senseless violence, people like messed up people in the world doing stuff. Like he's trying to get down to the bottom of things because it's messing with his order. Death has a plan, and like everybody going like shooting sprees and homicides and kidnappings and all that are just messing his plan up. And he wants to investigate, but he can't interfere with the mortal world directly. So he's trying to get like a proxy. And this is where like the Spawn angle comes in. Like Death convinces my character to reach inside himself and become like this aspect of this physical manifestation of an aspect of his personality. So he reaches inside this thing. and he pulls out the blades, and he becomes SpadeHeart. I took out all these pages have no dialogue because I think it's lame now. So yeah, but that is what's happening here. Death is using my character, my sona, as a proxy to send back to Earth and investigate and like kill anything that's like messing with Death's plan, because there's like super powerful beings that are making the other characters into alters, and that's like not cool for Death. So yeah, that's why this is happening. Yeah, he tells my character about that person. She's being manipulated by like Super Satan, who was a plant. And he sends myself back to Earth. That's the Heart Empress. I don't really know what her role is, other than she's secretly an angel. And yeah, okay, so now we're just getting to like more doodles I made of myself in the past. This is like a really quick sketch. Just I started showing more skin, like at least on the face area, and showing more. I started drawing the shorts like differently now, so that you see more leg come up. And this is a little. Oh yeah, I used to have a wallet chain. I don't have it anymore, but I was drawing myself with that. This is like a shorthand version of myself we did for this collab thing where everybody's doing the Dr. Slump run, the Arale run, or whatever her name is. Oh, and this is an updated version of my clown form, Chauffeur's Carney. Where all of that also comes from is like the drive forms from Kingdom Hearts and the what do you call it? The command styles from Birth by Sleep. Like as you would fight, your form would change, or your attack style would change. And I love that. That's so cool. So I would imagine my character like fighting some demon entity, and then kind of like adapting to that, and then becoming like Heroic Hellion is the name of that one. So this would happen with like most other forms too. This one, so this is an upgrade from like the old one where the coat was like kind of stiff. I still kept the frill on the neck. It's more jester-y, but I think I just like jesters more than clowns. I know there's a difference, but whatever. I don't care. I like the hat, the shoes. Now they're really jester shoes. I put like spades and hearts on the shorts where the shorts would be. The coat is kind of designed like a big top. It's got like the curved bottoms. The blades are the same. I think I redrew these two. And then this is just like a basic drawing of myself. Oh, this is way before I changed a lot of things. This one is also made super quick. We were all reacting to some... This is part of like a collab where everyone's... You know those meme templates where like it's a bunch of fictional characters? Or random ass characters, maybe real life characters too, reacting to some big news on the TV. And this, I don't know where this came from. It's probably from DeviantArt. Like some 12-year-old was like, "Oh, I need to draw all my favorite characters reacting to sad news," whatever that's about. So this is another shorthand version of my character before I added some stuff. This is when I started wearing like socks that went up past my knee, and that looked really good with the shorts I was wearing. It's like, oh, I should do that for SpadeHeart also. Also the coat is a little different too, and the shoes are kind of still have that like jester look, but they're like not it's just weird, like pilgrim shoes. I just realized I did this fast, like I said. This I'm still trying to kind of do the lightning shirt thing, but I don't have those anymore. I don't have a single lightning shirt anymore. But my favorite color is navy blue, so I just made it blue. This is what the most recent design I made, what it looks like now. I have a new coat that looks exactly how I used to draw myself in, or it's even better. It's got like the length is pretty long. It goes past my knee. The sleeves are pretty big, like this, just like this. I drew the blades. I redrew the blades here. They still got my emblem on the the side here. And then the shoes, they're not quite jester shoes, but I did start wearing steel toe shoes, and I think that would be really cool to incorporate into like my Sona's design. It's still got the light eyes, the white eyes, the lightning still comes out of the hair. The hair is like a signature thing I do now, where it's just like a big pointy dangerous looking mess, and it's kind of like how I used to wear my hair. When I used to grow it out, it would I just let it just grow the fuck out, and it would look like a mess. I was used to pick, of course, and do the typical grooming you would do with the afro, but my hairline is receding, and I don't look good with big head of hair anymore, at least with like my current weight. I just I don't like it myself, so I just keep my hair low cut now. But the idea is still here. Like the hair is supposed to be a storm cloud, and it shoots lightning out of it. I do the shorts differently. They're like more cargo shorts. I actually do the pockets. I don't really wear a wallet chain anymore. I just wear a normal belt. Yeah, but that's what it looks like. And then, actually, this image comes before that other one. That's just more just a portrait. This one is just a character mash of like everything. Because I have a friend who made an image like this with their Sona, and they just like surrounded it with like their interests and the things they like in the, you know, a drink or something. And I was like, I want to do that for this one. So on the side, it has all the titles that this character goes by: the Living Storm, the Two of Spades, Half of the Natural Disaster. There's also like a third like kind of title, which is like a more cosmic title that I haven't really divulged much on. Down there is like my two YouTube channels, Other Sides Arts and Jump and Shoot. Down here in the left is all of my favorite bands that I've been listening to over the years. Some old ones that I've listened to, some modern ones that I started listening to. And then, the top right is like some of the stuff I play on still, my Steam Deck, my 3DS, I guess technically my Switch, but I only play Smash on there. I picked a favorite drink, like the Java Monsters. I like specifically the coffee ones. I'm not a huge fan of the regular ones. My favorite food, buffalo fries. It's just fries with like some sauce and some either chicken bites or boneless wings on top of it. Like that, I will eat that every day. Down in the corners, like some of my hobbies, I started collecting like little figures. I like small Lego sets, like little figures, like little Gashapon figures or blind box things, like the fancy Pokemon blind box ones. I love collecting keychains now. I'm all about keychains and pins, and some of those are the bracelets that my friend made using some of the blind box things that I got out of like, it's a Nintendo console blind bag, and this one had like Game Boy Advance, so she made a Game Boy Advance one. And also there's like cool keychains you can get at like GameStop or any game store or like knick-knack store or whatever. Like I started paying attention to that kind of stuff now. Or like a gift shop at like SeaWorld or the zoo or something. Like they have cool keychains and pins. And I also started making shadow boxes. Like those are a couple examples I made right there. I've only made 4, and 2 of them were gifts for the same person. I'm working on a third. But yeah, this is just a page with like all of my interests and hobbies, and I like it. I like looking at it. And this is what I use for my blue sky now. This is just the pinned one, so everyone can see like everything I'm all about in like one image. And it's got my new handle, the Other Side Arts, different from Jump and Shoot. Right now I'm kind of struggling with developing like weaknesses for this character, because I can tell anyone like what all of these things represent and what they mean to me and everything. But like if I were to talk about this like like your typical superhero thing, or I couldn't tell someone their weaknesses, and I haven't really figured all that stuff out. But that's probably like the one thing left keeping this from being like universally interesting. It's like, oh, this. So what? It's just a power fantasy? Yeah, pretty much. That's as basically as I can put it. A lot of the other characters that I have, their super ego or their ids version of those characters, like that's also their power fantasies, and it encompasses all their fears and interests and everything that drives them, etc. And like you can look at two alters and like get an idea for like the actual self. That's like the vibe I want to go for. I mean, and I'll draw their normal selves at some point, but I'm going to talk about in length about the other characters too, and maybe right now for just the main, each character from each main universe I have. Like there's Trance, there's Dorothy Gale, my version of Dorothy Gale, the Sportsman, there's the Janet the Spy character, there's the living weapon, Cyber Squid lady. I haven't figured out her name yet. I haven't flushed most other things out yet, so that's why I'm just starting with SpadeHeart right now. Thanks for watching.